Hi everyone, Laurel here, Minnesota Zone 5A. Beautiful day out today, first weekend of March, and I decided to come outside and do a little seed starting. Normally I would wait probably more till mid-March, but we've had such a warm year, and this weekend's so nice that I can do seed starting outside and not worrying about making a mess indoors. So just thought I'd show you what I've done so far and kind of the supplies I use here. This is my favorite really brand of potting soil, Coast of Maine, if you can find it. I like the seed starting mix a lot. It is nice and fluffy and light and doesn't have a whole lot of sticks in it. That is why seed starting mix is usually more expensive. Toss those out. Is because it's screened of bigger chunks it goes through more screening compared to regular potting mix. So you don't have those big, huge sticks and big chunky things like potting mix has. I have started seeds in potting mix though too. Regular potting mix works just fine. You don't necessarily have to spend the extra money. This product comes with compost and other, what does it say? Lobster meal, compost, kelp meal, worm castings, and mycorrhiza, and slow release nitrogen. I do add worm castings. I get these at Costco. They're generally about $10 for a 10-pound bag, although wouldn't be surprised if they're more expensive nowadays. But so I do mix that in so that when the seeds come up, they have sort of a gentle fertilizer to start utilizing, because I'm not good about adding fertilizer afterwards. I use a number of trays. This is one of the 12-cell watering trays, or self-watering trays from Garedener's supply company. I really like these. They have nice size for the cells. They have a nice big opening in the bottom. You can even kind of fit your finger through to pop up the root ball once you're ready to transplant. I don't often use the self-watering feature. It does have a stand with a wicking mat. Sometimes I'll just put the wicking mat in underneath here. But generally, I will fill up the reservoir and set this in and let the water soak in. So I'm doing 6 varieties of bell pepper this year. Let's see, I have them in the bucket. What are they? We've got orange bell, King of the North, that's a red one, Chinese giant, red or green, Wisconsin Lakes, another red one, Etuda, orange, as you can see, and then gourmet orange. I also have some seeds of yellow pepper and a different red pepper, so we'll see if I start those later. But for now, 6 is plenty, and I'll probably have duplicates of a couple because I just can't help myself. What I have done, so I fill up the trays. I can use this indoors too. This is I think it's for oil changes or working on cars. I found it in the automotive department at Fleet Farm, they have everything from hardware to horse tackle to feed. They've got a garden center. But in the auto department, they have these big trays, and they're really cheap. I mean, it was like $5 to $10, something like that. Really good size. I also have trays like this. Actually, my aunt gave me that one. I don't know where she got it from. I think that's like restaurant or food service type tray. And then this is another one that I've used. This is from IKEA. I have a couple of these. They're really good all-purpose kind of buckets. They're laundry baskets or laundry tub or something is what IKEA has them labeled as, but they are absolutely perfect for planting, mixing up potting soil, seed starting, whatever you need. So put my seed starting mix in here with a scoop of the worm castings. I've got my watering can down there. Dump in some water so that it's moist and it sticks together, but it's not wet when you squeeze it. The peppers I use, here it is. I like to use this it's like a bamboo skewer. And I use it to just poke my holes, drop the seeds in, and then sometimes I'll use it to tap the seeds back into the holes. In the peppers, I do 4 of each kind. So these 2 cells are the same variety. And I did boom, 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 boom. So I've got 4 seeds. So I have backups in case not all of them germinate. Any extra seeds I have no problem giving away to neighbors or at work. So I do that with all of them. Later on in the season, I separate them out once they're bigger and ready to be repotted. And having them in the opposite corners makes it easier to kind of pull apart the roots. And then this is vermiculite. I have found at Menards, which is a Midwestern hardware store chain, like big box chain, competitor of Home Depot. They sell huge bags of this, the coarse vermiculite, from Burpee, the brand Burpee. So I've had a huge bag of that I've taken years to go through. But I do a little coating of that and then just spray it with some water to moisten it, and that kind of locks the vermiculite in place. I know a lot of people use that vermiculite trick. These plant tags, you can find them pretty much any garden center, any big box store. They're just the little white plastic ones. Sometimes I'll cut off the end or I'll cut off the point, so that they fit down in the plant tray with the cover on. Sometimes they stick up too far to fit the cover over them. And if that's the case, I'll just cut the end off of it so it's not quite so long. And I use this garden marker. I got this at a local garden center. I've seen them all over the place. Works like a Sharpie, but it's more weather resistant. So it does fade over time. This one's kind of faded. But generally I reuse these for a couple of years before I either get new varieties and they get faded so I can reuse them, or I just keep planting the same things and using the same tags. These are 4 varieties of shallots that I'm starting. I do these in big trays because they're really easy to pull apart. Any kind of onion is easy to separate. They can grow really close to each other, and you can pretty much just pull the roots right apart from each other once they're big enough. Varieties of those, I've got Zebrun, Matador. This one is my favorite for storage. The Matador shallots do really well. They have a really thick skin, and they're sweeter and more flavorful, and they don't dry out. They stay really moist in storage, and these store for at least a year for me. Conserver and Innovator. I haven't grown Zebrun before. The 3 other ones I have grown, they all do great. Like I said, Matador, I think, is the most flavorful and keeps its flavor the longest. So for shallots, just like onion seeds, I just kind of sprinkle them over. You can see sometimes the seeds are coated. These are kind of have a white coating. Another one of them had like a gold coating. I think there's one right here, actually. Let me see if I can. Didn't quite bury it. This has like a gold. It's not pelleted, but it has like a coating that makes it easier to see. I don't know if you can see that one on camera, or if my phone will focus here. Probably not. But I'll sprinkle them, just kind of push them down like this, using my little skewer as best I can. And these were all I had left. Normally I would sow them thicker than these ones are, but sometimes I push down a little piece of perlite. But this was all I had in that packet. I didn't realize it was that empty. Otherwise I would have used a smaller tray, but that's all right. So I push them down, and then I'll just kind of go over it like that with my finger. Tamp it in. Most seeds don't need to be very, very deep at all. And then if I see any sticking out, I'll kind of go back over and push it down again. And then I just sprinkle the vermiculite over the top. And that is it. And I will show you next inside on the porch how I have my seed starting area set up inside. I do start everything on the porch over here. You can kind of see my lights there through the window, and grow mats because it's not heated, so it does cool down at night. But I will bring you in and show you that, and also my seed storage in just a minute. We can go over here too. I pulled my perennials out last week, really. It's been so warm. Pulled those out of the shed. They don't get a lot of airflow in there, and I was noticing, like you can see on the old echinacea stems, there's some moldy fungal looking growth. So they're still all very much dormant, but I do see little sprouts coming up, little buds on some of the things, little sedum buds all over the place, the grass shoots. So I still don't have to water them very much. There's little sedum buds coming up on both of those. And in fact, when we got kind of rain, snowy night, I pulled them back into the shed because I didn't want them to be too soaked because they're still not actively growing. So I don't want to kill them by giving them too much moisture at this point because then the root balls will rot. So that's a little update there. We're supposed to stay pretty warm all week, so unless it goes below 20, I'll probably just leave them out here now for a while. And I did start some seeds indoors that I've had going for a couple weeks. I will show you those. So over here are the other seedlings and some more plants that have been living on the porch that I pulled out. This is vinca. I am not sure if these made it. I see one little sprouting leaf on this one down here, but I don't see any action on these two, and it's been pretty warm. So I don't know if they made it through transplant, but the Dolce Spearmint Heuchera are looking great. I trimmed those up and pulled off all the dead stuff. This is a couple of lemon ball sedum. This is what they do on the porch. Actually, this winter they fared better than most years because it stayed so warm. I don't know about this one either, but you know, the way I see it, if they survive, it's a free plant. If not, I'm really not out anything. So, and then this is that Creeping Jenny that I overwintered. And here are my seed starts. This is Purple Prince Alternanthera. This is an annual Rudbeckia, I want to say Cherokee. I have 5 of those that started. And then this is geranium. This is Picote Scarlet, I think. It's kind of a scarlet and white mottled variegated leaf. That kind of gives off, I think, a orangey, peachy vibe. And then, I don't know if you'll be able to see, oh yeah, you can see those tiny little sprouts. Those are foxglove. This does not want to focus. Well, just use your imagination, I suppose. Tiny little sprouts coming up here of some foxglove seedlings. I started these early inside in the basement under grow lights because they always take a little bit extra time to get going and get some size. So I thought this year I'd start earlier than I normally do. So, and I just pulled them out. It's really important to get airflow. It helps strengthen their stems and their root system to get a breeze on them, and of course fresh air and a little bit of sunshine. The nice thing about starting seeds out on the porch is I don't have to harden them off because they are already out exposed to UV light, to the sun through the window. So I don't have to bring them in and out and in and out and in and out. I can just bring them out in the morning, bring them in the evening. That's it, till it's warm enough for them to just stay outside. I have found the first couple years I started seeds without grow lights, just in the window in the sun, and that worked because it's unheated. I did invest in some heat mats off of Amazon, and I also had some given to me. And that was really important because the seeds really metabolize a lot of energy. So they're a lot slower growing if they don't have that bit of warmth, especially on the porch where it gets down into the 40s, 50s overnight frequently in the spring. But the nice thing is they're already kind of used to the temperature fluctuations. So again, it makes hardening off a little bit easier. But even if you don't have grow lights, if you don't have a spot, if you just have a sunny window, you can start seeds indoors. I would just do it a little bit closer to your last frost date because you don't want them to get real leggy. You don't want them to get a huge amount of size on them before you can start putting them out in the direct sun, because that's when they're going to take off. All right, I will show you inside a little bit more of my initial setup. I don't have the whole setup yet, but I'll show you that and how I store my seeds. All right, have you inside the porch now, just to show you kind of how I've rigged it up for seed starting. So I have this bench behind the couch here, right up against the window. This is the south side of the house, so it gets pretty full sun all day. It is shaded at points by the trees and the structure, but the closer it gets to June solstice, the more sun it gets, the higher the sun gets in the sky. So these light stand things, I have one here that's not set up. These are shoe racks from IKEA. I think they were about $6 a piece, something like that. The legs pop up and fold down for storage, which is really nice. And then I got these strip lights. These are LED plant lights, not just shop lights, but it came in a set of 6 from Amazon. I want to say I got them, I think I got them last year. And so I have, it was a set of 8. That's right, because I have another one downstairs. So a set of 8, I want to say they were maybe $50 for a set of 8 of these lights. I have them zip tied onto the bottom of these shoe racks. You can connect 2 together here. They come with different connectors. And then this end, I have it plugged in. You can switch them on and off. So like when I pull the seedlings out during the day so I don't waste energy, I just switch off the light. Use you up so you can see. And they're nice and bright. I have the lights hooked into this timer that I also got off of Amazon. About $20-25 you can get one of these. And it turns on at 6:15 a.m., turns off at 10:15 p.m. So they get all the light that they need. The heat mats. I've gotten a lot of them off of Amazon as well. I can find 2-packs or single packs. They all work pretty well. I haven't found any that are really bad by any means. 2 packs about $20-25, something like that. A lot cheaper than in a big box store or garden centers if you go online and order them. And those I have plugged in separately because, as I said, it isn't heated in here. I especially want those on at night, so I don't want those to turn off with the lights because that's when it's cold in here. When I come out, it's about 40 degrees in here, according to the thermometer in the morning. I do put, like these seeds, although they've germinated when we're getting cool nights, I do put the cover on to help insulate them. Tonight I won't because it's staying warmer. We had a warm day, but this week we had a night where it got down to 7 degrees outside. And it was between 30 and 40 in here, so I did put the cover on just to insulate. I like to have the heat mats plugged in separately so that I can unplug them if it's going to get really warm in here. Like today, it was 70-75 degrees in here or more. That's plenty warm, where the seeds don't, once they've germinated, they don't necessarily need that extra heat during the hottest part of the day. So I have that plugged in separately there. Things like peppers, tomatoes, even the shallots are more, onions can grow in cooler temperatures. I've just found they grow faster when they have warmth, but definitely those heat-loving plants like tomatoes and peppers really need that heat mat on the bottom, both to germinate and to really get going. So I did move my geraniums out here. They actually survived indoors. They're looking a little spindly. Same thing with this Plectranthus. That one, I neglected watering it, though. This is partially my fault, but now it can be out here. Hopefully it'll perk back up. The mums, you can see, are sprouting. I have the sedum outside still. Those will come in. I did get another grow light. My uncle was getting rid of this from Fairy Morse. Kind of a long one. So we'll see. We'll try that out. You can see only 2 grow lights fit on this bench here. I'm trying to figure out, maybe if I put a plank down, a board, I can extend the ends and fit a third one on here. That would be good. I'm also thinking the top of this cabinet, I can put a tray on top of there that will fit a grow light and some plant trays. I don't know. We'll see once the season gets closer, the planting season. This is where I store my seeds as well. I bought, let me move this out of my way and I can sit down. So I got from Gardener Supply their little seed storage box. I hunted, it was a splurge. I hunted online for a couple of months trying to find something, anything that was this size and like this. Any of the other sort of seed storage stuff I could find online was much smaller, and I didn't think it would be big enough for my needs. Or it wasn't quite made for seeds. I don't want my seeds to be in individual things, and I have to open. I've seen a lot of people online with the those photo storage containers. They're plastic, and they have each category of seeds in its own little plastic tub. I don't want to have to open that many things and close that many things over and over again to get my seeds. I just want to flip through everything quickly. So that was too much hassle for me. So there are toolboxes that are kind of like this, but this one, the one thing I don't like, it doesn't latch and it doesn't have a handle on the top. It has two handles on the sides here to carry it, and it's pretty lightweight because it's just galvanized. But it's not the easiest thing to carry. I wish it would at least latch. But you can see there's plenty of space inside. I like that it's made for seeds, so all the compartments are like seed packet sized. It comes with a bunch of these orange tab thingies and a bunch of empty seed envelopes, which I used for a few things. And I used these as a guide, and I just saved, this is like protein bar packaging that I saved and just cut out my own labels for each category. But I kind of, like these two are things that I sow early indoors. These two are things that are better sown outside, either direct sown or sown in seed trays once it's warm enough for them to go outside, because they grow really fast once the heat hits. And then it's like flowers, vegetables in each category. And then this section I kind of used for my own seed saving. This is Gamphrena seeds. These are some of the plant labels that I use, the white ones. Yeah, so my review, it's pretty good, not perfect. I would love it if it would latch and had a handle on top for carrying, but I like that it looks nice, so I've had it sitting on my coffee table for a while and it doesn't look hideous. It's not plastic, it's metal. If I do have it outside, it'll keep out rodents. They won't be able to chew through it. And I like the size. I like how much space it has. And you can see I've got plenty of room. I do not need any more seeds, but there is plenty of room. If you've got a large seed collection, it will fit in here. So anyway, mini review on the Gardener Supply seed storage thing. Here are some things that I'm going to start tomorrow. Gamphrena. I always moisten 2 paper towels or a paper towel. Put the Gamphrena, sandwich it between the other half of the towel, put it in a plastic baggie overnight. I've even left it in there for a couple weeks on accident. They started sprouting and I planted the sprouted seeds and they did great. But I've had a lot more luck when I pre-moisten it and pre-sprout it. Over here, this is kind of neat. This is the other geranium that I have indoors. It turned all green, but you can see the leaves are actually orange, or they have an orange center, and it gets really bronze, much more variegated with more light. It had turned all green being inside the house where it didn't get very much sun, so it's only been out here a week, and already this whole half of the plant has gotten some of its orange spots back, so I thought that was kind of cool. Another sedum over here. And the Dusty Miller, that'll get a hard cutback, and it'll sprout new growth. And a couple more mums. So anyhow, oh yeah, here's another seed starting mat. I got this online. Hydro Farm. Just found them on Amazon. So if you need a cheap plant stand too, these are $5 at Dollar Tree right now, these little guys. Got a few different colors, so stop in. Anyway, so that's my seed starting initial setup. It'll get pretty full in here. I also use this space. I can buy annuals pretty early because if we have cold nights, I can pop them in here overnight real quick, put them out in the morning if they're cold sensitive. So this is a really nice, really great addition to the house. Very lucky to have this. So thank you for watching. Have a great day. Please subscribe.